Good evening. Good evening, everybody. Scooch to the center. It's me, Mitch. How are you? How are you? Good to see you all tonight. Good to see you. I haven't, it's been 2 weeks since I did a live stream from in here. Wow, I almost forgot how I had it all set up. I hope it's working. I hope it's working. I'm looking in the chat to see somebody yelling no sound, no picture, no nothing, but it appears to be working. Great. Good to see you all. Almost 50 people here already. Not bad for a Tuesday night. Not bad for a Tuesday night. Good to see everybody. The chat is busy. I even saw Ellen pop in here a little while ago. Yes. Hi, Ellen. Good to see you. Good to see you. Look at all the people. Wow, what do I do? I don't tell you to drink it if you got it. I don't have a cigar in here. Hell. Thanks for coming, guys. Take the retinol. Certainly, drink it if you got it. Drink it if you got it. And I do. I do have my cup warmer sitting on my desk right next to me here. So, even better. Again, thank you, Francine Bourgeois, for that. I love the thing. Well, I'll tell you what, guys, I don't have a ton to talk about tonight. Doing this live stream every morning kind of drains me of topics to talk about. I did hear more and more drone talk. I mean, we're hearing tons of that, more and more theories. Everybody's got a theory. See, Lori's carnivore story says, question, what did you do today? Wow. Well, I did a little work. Not for YouTube, but for the other stuff I do. I made a short little YouTube video today recommending that Megyn Kelly interview, which I hope you watched it. It was really, really interesting to finally hear this statin hoax, hear the right side of it actually spoken in public. And I guess you could consider Megyn Kelly as having a national platform. She's, certainly one of the stars. And I thought that that would be worth watching. Not that I expect it's going to change the world, or not that I expect it's going to change you in any way other than if you're one of the people like me who has what they consider dangerously high LDL. My LDL is 340. My total cholesterol is 480 something. I'm a walking heart attack according to everybody in the medical community. And they don't hesitate to tell me that. They don't hesitate to tell me, and they don't hesitate to prescribe statins and even get a little angry if I say no. They think I'm out of my mind. And when you see things like that interview today and you hear this, the reality of the story, like we get from Nina Teicholz, Gary Taubes, most of the carnivore and keto doctors, Dave Feldman, Nick Norwitz, David Diamond, Malcolm Kendrick, all these people that are brilliant people and have actually done real research and can prove that in reality, LDL is not even hardly a factor in heart disease. And it seems that the people with the lowest LDL have the highest rates of mortality as they get older, and the opposite is true. So those of us over 60, or well over 60 like me, who have LDLs like I do, I take it as an indicator of health and long life, and I understand the reasons why it is. It's also, I think, responsible for the way at my age that my brain still works, because we need that cholesterol. We need those fats. Our brain is pretty much all fat anyway. The term fathead is very apt, very appropriate, very appropriate. So that was a good thing. I watched Starlink launch another rocket ship. I ate some poached salmon sous vide salmon. I threw some butter in the bag with the salmon, sealed it up, cooked it at 140 degrees for about an hour, hour and 15 minutes. And then I just seared it ever so quickly in a frying pan just to put a tiny little bit of crust on the outside. It was very good. It was very good. And I had my bacon and eggs for lunch, and that's what I did today. Watched some YouTube videos, relaxed a little bit. I didn't get much sleep last night, and it was a good day. It was a relaxing day. I was thinking, if I don't see a lot of questions, I'll throw a link in the chat. Anybody that wants to come in and talk, we'll have a little panel tonight. I'm still up in the air about these Tuesday night things. Since I do a live stream every morning, I think this may be superfluous. Thursday night is our private community, and I'm noticing a lot of red dots in the chat. That red dot, that red star in a circle after somebody's name means they've been a member of this private community for over a year. The yellow ones mean over 6 months. The turquoise ones, I think, mean over a month. I think it's a month. And the dark blue ones mean a newer member, 1 month. Kind of like rank. It's kind of like stripes on the sleeve of your uniform. So be proud of it. Be proud of it. And I'm seeing more and more red ones, which very gratifying. Very gratifying. Also, reinforces to me just how fast the years go by, how fast time flies. And I think any of us that are getting older, it seems to accelerate. Every year seems to go by quicker than the one before. It's a perception. I don't know if you study Einstein's theory of relativity, but time and space are intertwined. They can be stretched, slowed down. All I can say is this. As I get older, time passes faster. I see a question here from Danny in Boston. Says, Mitch, do you prefer cooking stovetop electric versus gas? I don't have gas here. I have nothing but electric. From my restaurant days, I thought that gas cooking was the way to go. I still do. My son's got gas, natural gas in his house, but his ovens are electric. Doesn't have gas ovens. But the cooktops, if you want to be a gourmet chef, which you don't need to be if you're a carnivore, because you're not cooking that much gourmet stuff. You're searing a steak now and then, cooking bacon and eggs. Gas is, I think, is always preferable. Anyway, I'm here. This is not going to be a 2-hour stream tonight, guys. I don't know if I even have it in me. Tomorrow morning, not that I'm tired, it's just I can only do so much talking and entertaining. Tomorrow morning, 10 o'clock for the morning coffee live stream, 10 a.m. on Wednesdays. Now, I had promised that to the people that live points west from us. So I know many of them look forward to that later start on Wednesday so they can be here. I have no need to go to Sam's Club tomorrow morning, so I could do it at 8:30. But I have told people it's going to be 10 o'clock every Wednesday, so I'm going to stick with that. So I will see you, and we've been getting great crowds in the morning, and it's fun. It's so much fun starting a day like that, sitting out there with the sun shining on my face, clowning around. It's a great way to start the day. And if you can be there, I think you'd enjoy it. What a sense of community we have, and what participation in the chat. God, the chat, I can't even imagine when I see Ken Berry does a live stream with 3,000 or 4,000 people. It's impossible. It would be impossible to personalize anything on his part other than the few super chats with questions that he can actually get to. And that's That's the problem. That's the problem with these chats. And we have a setting, whether you know it or not, in YouTube, a box we can check when we set up the stream that basically says slow down the chat. The problem with that is the chat gets so far behind very quickly, but at least it only goes by as fast as people can actually read it. Otherwise, it looks like a spinning wheel on a slot machine. So let's see who's here tonight. Let's see. I told you to put the QQQs in there. I know you guys don't like this, but I am going to put the link to my Buy Me a Coffee in the chat. And if you like what I do, if you think that I'm helping you, and you want to say thank you to me, that's how you can do it. Always appreciate those things. In return for me doing that, I try not to take sponsors or run mid-roll ads or do all the other things that most YouTubers do that, believe me, pay a lot better than the Buy Me a Coffee thing. But I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that. Use my Amazon links on my website. If you need to buy something that I use or you saw in one of my videos, or if you're just going shopping on Amazon, if you go in through one of those links, that helps me out too. That's my commercial. I'm going to keep doing it. I do it in memory of my father, who's been gone since 1990. I can't believe my dad's been gone almost 35 years. Who used to say, Mitch, if you don't ask, you don't get. God, if he isn't right. If he isn't right. And I will try to keep track of those things and say thank you to everybody, at least before the end of this stream. So we had a race at the beginning here. Mike Seeley from Tampa won. He was first. Your mom right on his tail. I'm coming here at noon to beat Papa Carnivore to a first comment, but United Carnivore is on Tampa time. And then she says, darn beat him. Really can't stand these typos. Peter chimed in shortly thereafter. You got to be quick to beat Michael. Yes. Yes. And how you doing, Peter? So, hi, your mom, and hello, Michael Seeley. How you doing? Good to see you here tonight. Couch Potatoes here. Cliff Medina. Hi, Cliff. Always good to see you. Greg Smith. How you doing, Greg? Good to see you. Tweet and Pearl is here. Boyd Lamb is here. How you doing? And this is at 5:12 this afternoon. Boyd Lamb. Boyd Lamb for 4 chats in a row. Tuka from Finland is here. It's the middle of the night for Tuka. Tuka keeps some strange hours. Worse than me. Sandy Blythe. How you doing, Sandy? Good to see you. And I'm not going to do this too long. I just want to try to say some highs. I may not get to say hello personally to everybody, but I think that for some people that gets a little boring. My buddy Jody Drone Shots is here. Hiya, Jody. And Lori's Carnivore Story with the joke of the evening. Patient says, Doctor, every time I drink coffee, I get a stabbing pain in my left eye. Doctor, we'll take the spoon out of your cup. I like that one. I like that. That's good. That's good. Yes, a little celebration and party. A funny joke. That was funny. That was funny. And my phone just went chime and ding. So let me see what happened. Sammy Shuford bought me a coffee. Thank you so much, Sammy. I really appreciate that. Was there a message on that coffee? Sammy Shuford bought a coffee and said, thanks, Mitch. Well, thanks, Sammy. Very nice of you. Lucy Auerbach, how you doing? Lucy, you're here. Have a great show, Mr. Meat Man. Don Schonger's here. William McCartney's here. Old Guy Carnivore is here in a red shirt. What do you think of his shirt? Is this festive or what? You guys don't usually get... I almost tossed the coin. Should I just wear the old T-shirt that I've been wearing all day, or should I actually dress up? And I kind of have made a habit of putting on a colorful shirt on Tuesday night, so I thought, hey, why not? Ellen is here. Hi, Ellen. Good to see you. And CB Carmack is here. And CB sent me some before and after pictures today. And holy cow, he sent me 12, 13, 14, 15 pictures. Wow. I don't guess you would mind if I show them since you sent them to me. Maybe I'll just show one or two. Maybe I'll just show one or two of them. So at any rate, let me get them in frame here. This, and I wouldn't have recognized him in this picture because I see CB in the in our chats on the private community, but this, my friends, is CB. And he looks like I used to look, with a big round face. And let me just page through these pictures. And look at them now. Do you believe it? Do you believe the difference? Look at the difference. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Look at that flat stomach. Unbelievable. Look at him. Look at him. Carnivore, my friends. Before carnivore. Before carnivore. Definitely before carnivore. Before. There you go. Oh, man. I got to tell you. Everybody congratulate CB. That's great, man. Thanks so much for sending me those. You are tonight's hero, my friend. Absolutely, absolutely. Kudos to you. Kudos to you. Now he's either going to come shooting me, gunning for me, or he's going to be blushing like a bride. But Aaron is here. Booby Goats, good evening to you. Laura, did I say hi to Lori's? Yeah, I told her a joke. Yes. Yes. And we have Cordelia from Albany, New York. Hiya, Cordelia. How you doing? And Sammy, thanks again for the coffee. Sammy Schufert says, good evening, Mitch. Sandra McDonald's here from Australia. Wow. Wow. I always say this, but it's true. I always am awed when I see people from halfway around the world joining in on a chat. It's flattering to me, but the technology that makes this possible is so friggin' amazing. It's unbelievable. And see, somebody noticed my fancy shirt. Sandy, thank you, Sandy. Chris Swain is here. Good morning, everyone. Got my coffee mug. Send me a picture. It was posted from Victoria in Australia. No kidding. Wow. That's pretty neat. Speaking of coffee cups, you remember, I got to stand up here and get this. Remember this coffee cup that I got that was broken and you see I had to try to glue it back together and it didn't come out too good? Remember this? Mark Whistler sent me this. This was what, 6 weeks ago or more? And Mark said, don't drink out of it, don't try to fix it. So I have it sitting up on top of my desk here and displaying it. He says, I'm going to get you a new one. I'm going to get you a couple of them. And it took, for some reason, I think his daughter kind of administers the purchasing of these custom coffee cups. And she was busy. Anyway, it took about a month, and Mark writes me an email and says, I got the coffee cups, I'm sending them to you. And he got one for Ellen, too. So he asked me if I would send it to Ellen. I said, certainly, certainly. And I got all excited, and then he mails them, USPS, U.S. Post Office. And I get a notice from the post office that says they will be delivered on Saturday. We're talking last Saturday, the 14th. And on the 14th, nothing. Sunday morning, I drove over to the post office because I thought, well, they got to be in the box, so they probably didn't put it in my informed delivery. No, box was empty. So 6 o'clock Sunday morning, I'm at the post office looking for the coffee cups, no coffee cups. I go back and I find the email he sent me, had the tracking number in it. I went and tracked it. It was still somewhere in Indiana. Today, it got as far as, Tuesday, it got as far as North Carolina. And I get an email from Mark Whistler. I put the wrong address on the package, Mitch. Can you give me the phone number of the post office so we can try to hit it off before it gets there, make sure that it gets to the right post office box? I said, okay. I gave him the number that I found on the internet for the post office, which in another email from Mark turned out to be the wrong number. And he found the right number, and he couldn't get it to even ring. So he sent me back an email and basically said, well, they'll just send it back to me and we'll try it all over again. I said, no, I'll try to call them. And I sat here, and it took me about 10 minutes, but I finally got the phone to ring. And then I got the next customer service rep will be with you shortly. Please wait. No music, though. I was surprised. Well, it took about 5 minutes, and a nice young lady came to the thing, and I told her the story. I like to tell stories. And I said he addressed it to P.O. Box 130, 182 instead of 120, 182. I said, here's the tracking number. She looked it up, and I said, any way we can intercept that before it gets put in the wrong box? She says, well, that's impossible because the 120 is the 3-number prefix for every box they have in that post office. And it turns out the 120 is part of their zip code. And I didn't know that. So it would have been impossible for there to be a post office box that started with 130. And she said, shouldn't be a problem. I said, well, then it'll probably be there tomorrow. She said, well, no, I doubt it. She says it might make it to Orlando tomorrow, where they have a regional distribution center, and they'll probably see it Thursday. So I'm thinking that Friday morning on the Morning Coffee with Mitch, Friday morning, I will be drinking my coffee out of this cup that says Morning Coffee with Mitch on one side and has my old guy with the cigar logo on the other, courtesy of Mark Whistler. That's the plan. You know what they say about plans. Oh, yes. Maria Kelly bought me a coffee. Thank you, Maria. Very nice of you. Very nice of you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And let me see if there was a message on that. Was there a message? Maria says, thank you for all you do. Love starting out my mornings with you. Love your shirt, by the way. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Very sweet of you. Thanks so much. And I still got Chris Wayne's thing up on the... Anyway, reminded me of the Mark Whistler coffee cup story. And Mark is a trooper. I can't thank him enough. For all that he went through. And Kitchen Witch Tanya, how you doing? Mitch Double. I think by that she means I'm a Taurus. Sean Shively, how you doing, Sean? Good to see you. And Tura Ramirez, good morning from Finland. It's witching hour again, 3 a.m. Go to bed, Tuka. Jesus. Paul McGrogan, how you doing, Paul? I said hi to Greg Smith already, but hello again. And Mark Whistler's here, so you heard the story, Mark. Mark said he was sorry for addressing her. Mark, you got nothing to be sorry for. I almost got pissed off at you for thinking that there was any reason you would have to tell me you're sorry. After what you've gone through to do something nice for me, I'm sorry that you had all this trouble. Anyway, we'll get it. We'll get it here. And let's hope that they kept it away from the post office guerrillas this time. Retired Rick, how you doing? What time is it? Oh, it's already 25 after. And I said I wanted to keep this a little shorter tonight. What do they say about the best laid plans of mice and men? All righty. I still haven't, other than, how you doing questions, I haven't seen any questions. Jody, drone shots. Is that you? Is that you creating all those problems in New Jersey? Are you are you the one that's flying those drones? Turmer thinks it's a fake alien invasion. I've heard more different stories. Turmer has a question. How are you, boss? Stock answer, Turmer. You've heard it before. If I was any better, my friend, it'd be illegal. It would be illegal. Graceful Lily, how you doing? And Marla Kelly's here. Hiya, Marla. How many people we got watching this thing? What happened? What happened to my... Oh my God, I closed the window and I went and showed the picture. I gotta open this window again. Hang on, folks. Oh, why did I do that? Why did I do that? Let's see here. Give me 1 second. Okay. And I got to do this. At least I give you a play-by-play. How many people we got? 92 people. Cool. Not bad for a Tuesday night. I'm sure a lot of people are out shopping tonight. Tanya says she did her homework. I guess she watched that video that I recommended. And I'm still looking for some questions, guys. All right, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Well, here you go. Danny in Boston had a question. Mitch, do you prefer cooking? Oh, yeah, I got that one when it first came in. I have one of those. I have electric, but it's a glass cooktop. It's not one with the coiled burners. And I like that okay. I like that. Seems to work good. CB Carmack says, maybe people are outside looking at the sky. So far, most of the pictures I've seen of these things are airplanes going overhead. I also find it very interesting that every drone that they take a picture of, and some of them definitely are drones, is obeying the FAA law as far as lighting and lighting placement goes. Which kind of means that I doubt if they were Iranian or Russian drones that they would be concerned about obeying our FAA's laws for navigation and strobe lighting on these things. These things, most likely, some of them are being flown, tested by the government. Maybe some of them are being flown by police departments because they all have drones. First responders all have drones. Fire departments have drones. Every TV station now uses drones. They're a lot cheaper to operate than those helicopters that they used to lease. Even though some of them still lease the helicopters, the drones, that's where they get most of their aerial shots. Ellen misses having a gas stove. You know, I don't believe it. I've ever had a gas stove in any place I ever lived. I had them in the restaurant. We had these big 10-burner commercial stainless steel. You know, you've seen them in restaurant kitchens. And I used to go in there in the morning, and I used to cook myself up a crab meat omelet. Nobody was around, just me. 10-burner stove. All the crab meat I could eat. Life was good, except I wasn't making any money at it. It was a bad time economically, bad time. 2007, things were just starting to go to hell. So I'm still going through questions here. And Peter says he's here. And people are saying hi to Peter. How you doing, Peter? Jason H. Loves his gas stove. I don't blame you. I don't blame you. Rick. Oh, it figures, Rick. Rick, Charger Mopar. Rick is MacGyver. I figured that out. You all remember MacGyver? Well, that's Rick. That's Rick. He's the guy that can make anything out of anything else. I guess you guys all got questioned out this morning because we're talking about gas stoves mostly here. Oh, okay. Now, when I showed CB, when I showed your pictures, my friend, Ellen says, "Wow, CB is really tall, or those ladies are short." Oh man, your mom said amazing. Lori says, insane. You got to watch it, CB. Don't tell them where in Alabama you are. You'll be mobbed. You'll be mobbed there, especially when you're in uniform. Holy cow. Holy cow. Lori said, seeing the before and afters never gets old. It is inspiring. It really is. That's why I like to get it. Even Peter thinks you're a stud, CB. I don't know about that. Stickman's Garage, how you doing? Looking good, CB. So many inspiring people here. That's the name of the game, is to get inspired. Feel like you're not alone in this, because I know you can. It's so easy. It's so easy to feel like you're the fifth wheel. And sometimes wondering if you are, like everybody said, on the wrong side of everything. But you're not. We've got the proof, and the proof is look at us. Look at us. Look at those before and after pictures. And then find people that did Weight Watchers a year ago and look at their before and after pictures. Probably pretty similar. CB says, thanks all. Yeah, the most important is how I feel and the medications I don't take anymore. You're right, CB, man. We're proud of you. We're proud of you. And Peter, what's this all about? Yeah, curry is a lost cause. I must have missed something in the chat. But Peter likes me. I'm so humble. A real good guy. Thank you. Thank you. Pardon the pauses, folks, but I'm trying to find something to talk about here. So there's obviously, I'm going to have to, I watched the replay and I'll have to read the whole chat to see, because I missed a lot of the conversation. I've just been trying to get through this. Here, Stickman's Garage, UPS was slow all last week, even though no address issues. I had a package stalled in the Northeast on the way to Texas. Yeah, the girl at the post office basically reminded me if this was any time other than Christmas, because now is when everybody's mailing their packages. They don't wait, now. 8 or 9 days before Christmas, 10 days before Christmas is when they tell you got to get them mailed to get them there. So I can understand. I can understand why that they just get jammed up this time of year. I did, however, I had to have that notebook computer I had that broke, that necessitated me going to buy a brand new one so I could do my morning live streams outside. I sent it back to Dale, and I got to tell you, I was blown away by how fast that whole process got done. I got that computer back today, and the way they do it, it's really interesting. And this may be a little off carnivore topic, but hell, I'll talk about something. They send you a box. They send you a box, an empty box with the right kind of foam things for your notebook. And that box has a label inside that you put your computer in the box. They send you a plastic bag to put over the computer. Then you put the foam things on the end and it fits right in the box. And there's room on the side for the power brick if you need to send that back. Then you tape the thing closed and they give you a label. You peel the label off and it's a return label. And you take it to FedEx. All of that was done overnight, which blew my mind. Overnight FedEx. Next day. So I called them one day. I had the box the day after. I got the box. I packed the computer. I took it right over to FedEx. Shipped it the same day I got the empty box. They received the computer the next day. They had the computer for 2 days. Yesterday, I get an email saying, your computer's fixed. We're shipping it back to you. They shipped it yesterday. I got it today at around noon. Less than a week for the whole turnaround. I couldn't believe it. So Dell gets high marks, and it works. They ended up replacing the entire main board, the whole guts of the thing. And it was the second time they fixed it. And that's the guy told me on the phone. I told him, I said, I can't keep sending this back to you. This broke the same way before. You fixed it, and I got it back, and it happened again. And he promised me it would never happen again. They're going to replace everything in it. I said, well, I'd like a brand new computer. He said, well, you've had it too long. We can't do that, but we'll make sure it works. So if it breaks again, I'll take back everything I said about Dell. The computer that I'm running this whole system on here, this whole system is running off of a big Dell desktop. I've had this computer for over 5 years now, maybe even longer. And it's a great computer, works fine. So I like Dell products. I'm not having the same look with my cell phone. My cell phone, the USB, these cell phones have the USB ports in the bottom. Well, I had this brand new cell phone, the one that's orange. You've seen the one I have. It's got an orangish color, titanium orange they call it. The USB port stopped working. You had to push the plug in and hold it in real hard in order to get it to make contact, which I wirelessly charge it, but it means that when you want to transfer things through the USB port, you can't use it. So I called them up. The thing was only 7 months old. And it was the top of the line Samsung. They don't do overnight shipping. They don't send you the box. They don't do any of that stuff. They just send you a piece of paper, email you a piece of paper with the address on it. They do prepare a shipping label. You don't have to pay shipping. And it took 4 or 5 days to get to them. They finally got it. They finally got the phone. I got the notice today. They finally got it. And now they say it should take 4 or 5 days to fix, and then it'll be shipped back to you, which will probably take another, this time of year, 4 or 5 days. But they're not using FedEx. I don't know. I think they maybe use UPS. I wish they used FedEx. It worked much better. So if you got to ship, the moral of the story, my friends, is if you got to ship something for Christmas, you better do it by tomorrow, I think. or it's going to be close. Well, I've kind of given up on the questions, so I'm just basically seem to be joining the conversation here. Let's see here. Wow. What time was this chat? 8:24. Well, that's only about 15 minutes ago. I'm not too far behind. Let's see here. Surely somebody. I'll give you guys one thing. You're a chatty bunch. Yeah, here we go. Your mom. I'm in Newark. 100% a drone, very large and hummed. The police were chasing it. Well, some of these drones are pretty good size. There's even some people that have built manned drones, hobbyists, some of them, fly them around. They have DJI, the largest manufacturer of drones in the world in China, makes agricultural drones. They spray fields with them. These things are 5 or 6 feet on a side. They have 8 propellers, 4 arms, 2 motors, one on the top of the arm, one on the bottom, with counter-rotating propellers on each arm. They're huge. They're huge. Some of them are very big. I heard a theory today, which I actually might have made some sense, or it could have been another conspiracy theory. But it's something that I would believe more than I would believe some of these wild stories about leftover nuclear devices from the Cold War. I wouldn't dispute the fact that these big drones that you're seeing, like and the one that you said you just saw was a big drone, and pretty much all drones home, they make noise, even the little tiny ones. I said this on my morning live stream a week ago or so. I said, if any of you have ever heard of DARPA or the Skunk Works or some of these secret government R&D projects where they develop the weapons of the future and the aircraft of the future, they're always testing something. So much of what they're testing is what so many of these so-called UFO sightings are. They're not UFOs. They are the government testing potential new designs for aircraft or weapons. And if you look at some of the fighter planes that they're building even today, those things were on the drawing board 5 or 10 years ago. It takes that long to design and build and prototype and test until they're ready to go. And some of these airplanes that they're coming out with these days are unbelievable. And even today, they look like something out of a science fiction thing. Well, imagine what they're working on today that they will have in production and out into the military in, say, 5 or 10 years. Imagine what that stuff looks like. There's going to be so much technology and it's so much artificial intelligence baked into these things. Automation. A lot of them will be drones. They won't need pilots anymore. They'll do everything themselves. And they test these all the time. And that's what people who always go out with Area 51 out there in the desert in Nevada, where they have Air Force bases and things. And that's where they test most of these things. They don't test them generally in New Jersey. But there are military bases in Jersey. And it was postulated that detecting radioactive material on the ground is something that's within the capability of our technology, and that the government has been, even if we don't know for sure, is most probably developing drones with this detection technology built in, and they may just be testing them. They may have some samples, some radioactive things that they're putting out there, and they're doing exercises with some of these drones. And the thing that made this make sense to me is that the way they would detect something that was radioactive would be by a heat type signature on with an infrared sensor, which would be much easier to detect at night when everything around that hot metal, which is hot because it's radioactive, is cooling down rather than in the sunlight and the heat of the day. It would stand out much more. And that's a possibility. And some of those drones may be even something like that. And they've been talking about it's a false flag operation. They're just trying to see how much they can get away with before the public gets too upset and scared. There's so many different things it could be. But what it isn't aliens. And most of what people are seeing are airplanes, and I can see that just from the videos. So we'll find out what it is. The fact that our government isn't telling us what it is, I wouldn't expect them. If they're working on secret projects for weapons that we're going to have 5 or 10 years from now, I don't want them to tell us, because when they tell us, they're telling the enemy at the same time. You know, there have to be some secrets. There have to be some secrets if you want your country to survive, at any rate. But they still keep saying they pose no danger to the public. And I agree with I agree with that. And then I showed that thing this morning. You all saw that this morning. Bruce Simpson from New Zealand, he put together a picture with an SUV hovering over his house, doing 360s over his house. And I thought that was incredibly funny. Well, don't shoot him down, whatever you do, because that's a federal crime to shoot a drone down. It is a federal crime. I'm still looking for questions here. Ellen and Charger Mopar's talking, and Mama Bear's talking, and we're not getting much carnivore talk done here, but that's okay. Here we go. A question, Aunt B. Yes, Aunt B. Hang on one second, Aunt B. Aunt B says, Old Guy Carnivore, have you never been a MacGyver? Oh, I'm the ultimate MacGyver. Are you kidding me? You kidding me? The stuff I've built in my lifetime, the radio-controlled turbine engine jet-powered model aircraft, I've always had to work. I used to live in the garage. I identify with Rick. The technology that I was involved with, the computers and networking and all that stuff. Yes. I definitely fit right into that. I love working with my hands. And I love the lights and the buttons. As you can tell when you look at my setup here. And even the one I put together outside, that's becoming pretty capable. Pretty capable. The only thing I don't have out there is a green screen. That's the only thing I don't have. Otherwise, I could do pretty much everything out there now that I can do in here, although I've got this set up with a lot more different effects and things that I can do. But you all do know, you got to know, that I'm not sitting in a room in front of an open door with a blue sky out back and a tree blowing in the wind. You know that none of that is real. Does anybody in the chat think that that's real? If you do, let me know. Lori says, is anyone in the green room? No, I haven't put out the link because I don't think we're going to be at it long enough to do that tonight. I'm going to do that Saturday afternoon. And once that gets started, I can't, it just keeps going. It just keeps going. And I have things I have to accomplish tonight. I don't have, I didn't sleep much last night. I only got about 3 hours of sleep last night. I'm a little tired. Yes, Superman that I am. I was up shortly after 4 o'clock this morning. 4:15 or something like that. I climbed out of bed, but I was awake before that, and I didn't get to sleep until well after midnight, well after 1 o'clock in the morning, if I even slept at all. And I've been going pretty much nonstop all day today. And now here it is 9 o'clock at night, and I'm still here going, I'm really not too sleepy, but I have about an hour's worth of work I got to do for one of my clients, one of my website clients, and I don't want to stay up all night. Sherry Morgan bought me a coffee, and she says, check your super chats. I'm wondering why people think they are not eating enough. When I saw that super chat, Sherry, I saw that, and I was, it's so far down in the chat here. There it is. I'll roll down to it. I wanted to get it so I could put it up on the screen. I always like to put it up on the screen. And I showed it off this morning, but just in case you don't know, let me explain this setup on my screen. And I'm going to show you my center screen. And this is what you're seeing. This is, in this window up here, the center monitor that I have. And over here on the left-hand side is a chat that comes from the YouTube feed. And you see it just went up one. And I saw the super chat go by there. But in order for me to keep sequentially reading the super chat, I have it in this, and I was so far behind in this window, and I can get rid of the green thing there. I was so far behind in this window here that I figured I was going to put your super chat up there and say hi to you when I got to it, and I just wasn't getting to it. So I rolled forward to it so that I could thank you so much. What is it now? Day 113? Was today 113? Holy cow. Girl, what the hell? Oh, I don't even know. I still don't know how you do that. I still don't know how you do that, but it's a miracle. When I see you doing a handstand off the side of that pole, my God. Incredible. Sherry Morgan, you are right about extra butter not being needed on a ribeye for fear of not enough fat. Mine are fatter than bacon. What's your experience? Well, you know, some ribeyes are fat, but a lot of people trim fat. I don't eat the whole big globs of fat. I eat fat and meat together, but I usually end up with some fat scraps when I'm done. I just like the taste of searing a ribeye in butter. But I get so much fat from my bacon and eggs every day, I never worry about it. And I think that if you just, I used to save all the bacon fat from my bacon. Now I use it to cook the eggs, let the eggs soak up all that fat, and it makes the eggs taste better too. So I'm liking that way of doing it. I'll have to do that in a video for you all one day, because I've never cooked them that way yet. Even with all the bacon and eggs I've cooked in videos, I've never done that yet. I'll have to do that. But no, I think that if you eat a lot of eggs, you're getting a lot of fat, and especially pasture-raised eggs. And if you eat bacon, you're getting plenty of fat. And if you eat the fattier cuts of meat. I had chicken wings for dinner last night. 7 huge chicken wings with the skin on. I air fried them. I didn't fry them in bacon grease. I just fried them with the skin on, of course, in an air fryer for 30 minutes at 375. They were fabulous. They were delicious, and they were greasy as hell. A lot of fat in chicken wings. Thank you, Sherry. Thank you. Good to see you tonight. And tomorrow, Sherry, tomorrow for you. We're starting the morning coffee live stream at 10 o'clock our time. That'll be 7 a.m. your time. So I may still be early for you. I don't know. But if you can make it, I'd love to see you in there. And Sherry says, thank you so much, Mitch. I really appreciate your kindness. Yeah, I never leave comments on anybody's videos anywhere, Sherry. But I left a comment for you the other day. I think it was on your day 110 video. Just so you know I'm watching. I want you to know I'm keeping an eye on you. Make sure you stay out of trouble. You strike me as a woman that could very easily get in trouble. Especially that one video where I saw you were driving with in a convertible with the top down and your hair blowing in the wind and everything. And I said to myself, Hollywood. That, my friend, is Hollywood. We love you, Sherry. You know that, don't you? So I just skipped over a lot of chat. And Ann B says, can I repost the coffee link? Yes. There it is, B. Thank you so much. I can. I know there's got to be a way. There has to be a way that I can automate where like every 10 minutes that thing just gets posted. I know there's some software plug-in for OBS here, one of the software programs that I use that will do that, but I don't feel like trying to figure out how. Sometimes you could take 3 days trying to make something like that work. But thank you for reminding me. And I guess that's 5 minutes to 9. I guess I'll just keep doing this a little while longer. And Sherry has another one here. And Sherry says, oh, that's the one about the extra butter. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I went back. I went back to see what I missed before that. Question. StreamYard link Mitch, said Turamir. Not tonight, Turamir. Sorry, my friend. I don't have 2 hours to do this tonight, but Saturday afternoon. It won't be the middle of the night for you. It'll be in the evening for you. Saturday afternoon at 3, we're going to do the whole stream is going to be a panel, a meeting, like we did last Saturday. So I'm sorry, but I just didn't want to get involved unless I had done it right at the beginning and we got started and I got off on other things. So my bad. I had said that I might do that tonight, but it just didn't work out that way. And here's a question from Australia with 3 Qs from Stan Pask. Stan Pask, I don't recognize that name. Hi, Stan. Good day. Happy Wednesday afternoon from sunny, warm Melbourne, Australia. Melbourne is my sister city. I'm in Melbourne, Florida. Melbourne, Australia. What's your opinion on grass-fed, grass-finished meat compared to grain-fed? Is there a health benefit with grass-fed? Stan, about a month or 2 ago, I did a whole video on that. And it took a whole video to really give my explanation. So if you go to YouTube, in the search bar in YouTube, not Google, you might find it on Google, but if you go in YouTube, go to search bar, type old guy carnivore, just type 2 words, grass, grain, and that video will come up because those 2 words are in the title. The Cliff Notes version, the short version of that, pretty much all beef is grass-fed. The difference is in the way they finish it for the last few months. Grass-finished or grain-finished. The grass-finished cows, the ones that stay in the pasture, at the age they slaughter most of these cows, they don't fatten up enough. So it seems that the grass-finished meat is not as marbled. No, very little marbling. Some people even say it tastes a little gamey. It's nowhere near as delicious as a grain-finished cow. The epitome of grain-finished meat is Japanese Wagyu beef. But you'll pay $100 or $200 for a ribeye of that stuff. But you talk about fat and being marbled, it's fabulous, incredible. But most people in this country, most supermarkets are selling grain-finished beef. Oh, you'll see things that are marketed as grass finished or have labels say grass finished. The so-called grass finished ground beef I got from Sam's Club, I really don't believe it. I think maybe it says grass fed on the label. And that's a little deceptive if it says grass fed, because all beef is grass fed. It's the finishing where the difference is. Experts put whatever weight you want on somebody who says they're an expert. Say that you may get 5% more nutrients in grass-finished beef than you do grain-finished beef. My answer to that is, well, if you're eating grain-finished beef, eat 2 more bites. You'll get the same amount of nutrients. You eat just a tiny little bit more. None of the grain gets into the meat, and that's another thing people like to tell you. Well, you're eating grain. You're not supposed to. You're a carnivore. Grains are sugar. No. The cow metabolizes all that. It never goes into the meat. Just like if I cut you open, if you were eating ice cream every day for a while and I cut you open, you wouldn't find ice cream in your body, would you? No, your body broke it down into its raw components, molecular components, amino acids, sugars, everything else, and then used those components to build what it needed to build. And in the case of a lot of sugar, you end up making a lot of fat. So we get fat. So no, there is no grain in grain finished beef. Sorry. There's no grass in cow meat either, and that's all a cow eats is grass. Generally, you don't find blades of grass when you cut into your grass finished steak. Sorry, it just doesn't work. That's not how it works. So. The bottom line on my video was basically buy what you can afford, buy what you like the best. That's the most important thing. If you don't like the grass finished, if you don't like the fact that it's generally tougher, chewier, more expensive, less marbled, nowhere near as tasty, if you don't like that and you think you're doing it because it's so much more healthy for you, then you've fallen for the hype, in my opinion. And you know, I keep saying this. My ultimate disclaimer is everything I say, every word out of my mouth, is my opinion and my thoughts. And I have T-shirts, and I wore one this morning that says, "I may be wrong." But underneath it, it says, "But I doubt it." So I do have that. But I didn't just, these opinions that I have come from a long life of trying to really think out, well, what makes sense? What makes sense? How does it really work? And I learned a lot about physiology and biology and biochemistry and evolutionary biology, all the different processes that we have in our body to create the energy that we use and how we metabolize the food and what it's broken down and how genetics work. I've a lifetime fascination of mine. I could have easily been a doctor. I just didn't want to be a doctor. And it's a good thing, because if I was a doctor, I would have had to sit in college and learn all the crap that they taught that's wrong, and then I would have had to practice medicine that way or lose my license if I dared tell somebody to eat a steak. So everything works out. Everything works out the best. But that's my take on it, and I think as long as Anthony Chafee's buying his beef at Costco, I think I'm in pretty safe company. Obviously, that young man is doing something right there, and he's in Australia too. He's doing something. He's over in Perth, I think. He's doing something right. Eating nothing but red meat. I mean, he's pretty much lion diet. Sean Baker is too. And I know that they're eating mostly grain-finished beef. Hope that answered that for you. I was only going to give you the Cliff Notes version, but you know how I am. Get me started. Get me started. Buckle up. Buckle up. Buckle up. Okay. I think Turamir keep asking for the link. Turamir's a real showman, man. We love him. Man, he came in Thursday night. He sang for us. What a voice. What a voice he's got. Like a baritone opera singer. Wow. Okay, I found the questions I had answered before. Let me go down in the chat here and keep looking and see if I find any more. How many people? We got 82 people here. Yeah, I know. Tuka wants to come in. And I almost kind of agree with Tom on this one. You will not ever be told what the drones are being used for. And probably rightly so. But I think that what they're seeing in the skies, and it's not just New Jersey, it's all over the place, are a lot of different types of aircraft flying around for a lot of different reasons. It's not all one thing. It's just these people have never been outside at night and looked up at the sky. The sky's always full. Wait till Amazon starts trying to deliver tube socks with drone delivery. They're all working on it. Wait till the pizza places start using drones to deliver pizza. God, that scares the shit out of me to think about that. It's going to be the most annoying thing in the world, having those things buzzing overhead. It's going to be like the Jetsons. Remember that? I think we'd be better off without flying cars, but they're inevitable. They're inevitable. Tom says it's an SUV drone. That was a funny video. Everybody, I should have said anything. I shouldn't have said anything about having a panel tonight. I said I might. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Ellen says, I have a super chat. Were you talking about Sherry's? That's the only one I got so far. Thank you, Ellen. And your mom says, Mitch, can you get a world map and put a sticker for everywhere we are? We seem to be all over. That'd be kind of cool. That'd be kind of cool. I could do it on the computer. In an app like Photoshop or something, I could actually get a big map of the world and then go in there and place the names of the people where they are. It would be some work, but I would be able to show it on the computer during these live streams. That'd be kind of neat. Got another coffee from Sherry Morgan. Sherry says, have you seen the incredible Dr. Pole? Is he working with local ranchers when he does barn calls? It's very interesting. No, I haven't. I haven't heard of him. I don't know anything about him. Dr. Pole. Dr. P-O-L. Dr. Pole. Jan Pole. Jan Pole. What happened to Dr. She put Paul's. What happened to Dr. Michelle Sharkey on Dr. Pole? Did Emily leave Dr. Pole? What happened to Dr. Pole's grandson? Man, this guy sounds like a soap opera. Jan Harmpole, born September 4th, 1942, is a Dutch-American veterinarian who stars on the reality television show The Incredible Dr. Pol on Nat Geo Wild. Wow. Look at that. American's favorite veterinarian. Well, that's why I never heard of him, because I don't know, I don't have any animals. I don't watch videos about animals. America's favorite. Relive heartfelt moments then and now each month. Don't miss out. Order your calendar before it's gone. Oh, Dr. Pol has got quite a little enterprise going on here. See Dr. Pol in the media. Experience the Dr. Pol difference for your pet. Oh, okay, he makes pet foods too. Wow. Look at this. I never heard of this guy. Look how famous he is. Where to watch. He's written books. That's something. Join our herd, he says. Look at that. Wow, who knew? Who knew? I guess I'll have to see what he's all about. And Sherry said, oh, she said it on the coffee thing here. Is he working with local ranchers when he does barn calls? It's very interesting. That would be interesting to see. There seems to be a lot to the guy. It would take a little bit of time to figure out what he's up to. I personally, I can't answer that question. I wish I could for you, but I learn something new every day too. Thank you, Sherry. What time am I up to? 8:49, and it's, oh my God, I'm 20 minutes, still 20 minutes behind. Well, I'll keep going here. Jennifer Marlowe, how you doing? Didn't say hi to you yet. John Bassett, how you doing? Mitch, what is the largest drone manufactured for private or commercial use? I was talking about a little earlier, the agricultural drones, the ones they use for spraying, are probably the biggest non-piloted vehicles, UAVs, unmanned aerial vehicles. That's what UAV stands for. And they can be 5-6 feet from rotor tip to rotor tip across them. They're big. They're huge. Some of them carry 20, 30, 40 gallons of the good shit that they spray on plants. Pesticides, glyphosates, all that stuff. And they're replacing the old biplanes, the crop dusters that used to spray these things. They're using the drones now. And the neat thing about the drones is you map out the field, and the spray, the program, the pattern, the spray pattern is pre-programmed into the drone from waypoint to waypoint, and it's all done by GPS, and it's all done automatically, and all the pilot has to do is push a button, and the drone takes off, goes to the beginning waypoint, and then sprays the whole entire field and doesn't miss a square inch of it, and doesn't overlap much either. It's incredible technology and very cost effective compared to what it costs spraying from a crop duster. They tried to do it with helicopters, with radio-controlled helicopters, big helicopters. They were very expensive, and they didn't have the technology, all the electronics, the GPSs, the flight controllers, the stuff that we have now that can put these drones. They have a GPS technology called RTK, which is accurate down to a centimeter. Think about that. A centimeter on the ground. That drone can go right to that spot and stop and stay there right over a spot and not move a centimeter in any direction. All done from GPS satellites. And with that technology, and that's one of the scary things about drones, is they they can be programmed for nefarious purposes and use that same technology. And that's what's happening over in Russia and Ukraine right now with some of these drone attacks. And the military drones are not like the drones, the quads that we call them, because they have generally 4 motors on them, although some have 5 or 6. They're more like regular airplanes. Some of them even have jet engines in them, and they can shoot missiles. They do all kinds of things. And you've seen movies where the guy's sitting in the bunker somewhere in front of a big TV screen with his hand on a joystick, shooting laser bombs at the ground, taking out the enemy. And that's the technology we have. And it's very, very scary. And I see Ellen, everybody keeps telling me about your super chat, Sherry. I don't think I missed any others. I think I did get that. But I'm so far behind in the chat that it's possible that I hadn't gotten to it yet. Sherry says, you got me blushing. You talking to me? Or are you talking to somebody else in the chat? I guess you might be talking to me, because that's probably about the time I was complimenting you so much. Sherry says, I'm a hermit that lives in a shoe. Yeah, here you go. Aunt B says, Sherry, I like your new nickname, Hollywood. Sorry about that. I hope I don't give you something that ends up sticking like that. Rick Charger Mopar says, OBS crashes my computer. Yeah, it can. It's open source software. It's not made by a company and sold. It's free for anybody that wants to use it. And I have not had a problem with it, but I don't install a ton of plugins or anything else. I use it pretty much right out of the box. And I use it for its basic function of camera switching, putting in backgrounds and green screens and things like that. And I've showed all of you this. That whole thing behind me. And I know maybe some people aren't really interested in it, but that whole thing behind me is a fantasy. It's not real. It's not real. If I were to turn off my what's called chroma key, then you'll see what I'm really sitting in front of. A green screen. And you can see that I got it pushed over too far to one side because you can see the black. And behind the green screen in my computer is this image of that open door. And if I were to turn my camera off and just show you that image without my camera there, that open door is a transparent hole in this image where I have a video of this running in the background. And that's a video I shot outside of my house one day. I just put the camera on a tripod, aimed it up at the clouds and the trees. The wind was blowing a little bit, and I shot myself about 15 minutes worth of video, and I have it running on a loop. So I started with what was outside. Then I put in this picture, this graphic of an open door with the hole in it so you can see through it to the sky and trees. Then I put my camera on top, my camera with me sitting in front of a green screen. Then I told it to do something called chroma key, and it says wherever you see green, I want you to make it invisible. And that's what happens. And it turns out that I've got my camera off a little bit. It's not centered right, so I will turn the camera a little this way and get rid of that black strip at the edge. And that's why I kept moving over. I didn't realize that the camera had gotten moved. I haven't used this thing in 2 weeks here. And that that's how I built this. But in the same respect as having that behind me, I can also get rid of the open door. I can put myself in this fancy library too. So this is how most of what you see on TV is made. This is how the movies are made. This is how they do these special effects, and this is the OBS software that Rick was talking about. How do you like my library? Pretty impressive for a mobile home in a retirement community, isn't it? You never thought a mobile home looked like that inside, did you guys? It's amazing. It's amazing. All right, let me put my set back together. Let's get rid of the library. And that's what I pretty much start with. It's me in the center in front of the green screen. And let's put the sky and trees back in. Let's put the open door back in. And there we are. So that's the magic. And it's kind of neat, and I like it. And a lot of what you see on YouTube, a lot of people are using these green screens and putting graphics behind them. So don't believe everything you see. If they look like they're sitting out on a balcony, in the Ritz-Carlton in Kapalua in Maui, they may just be sitting in front of a green screen and have a picture of that on their computer and have managed to place themselves in front of that picture. It's dangerous in some instances if people are trying to gaslight you and make you believe you're really seeing something that you're not really seeing, but just something they constructed using software and artificial intelligence these days. That gives us these phony constructed videos of real people talking in their real voices, but it's not really them. So you almost can't believe anything you see these days. In fact, I'm not even here, guys. This isn't really me. I'm in the other room watching TV. This is an artificial intelligence version of me doing a live stream. And somebody will believe that. Oh, man, 71 people. I guess everybody's starting to get bored. I've run out of things to talk about. Where's the cigar guy? Yeah, Robert Warris says, no, I don't smoke in the house. I'm the only one that lives in here. Nobody tells me I can't smoke in the house. I just don't want my house to smell like cigars. So I smoke out on my porch. I even thought about maybe doing this live stream from out there tonight, but it's raining. So I said, nah, I'll do it in the studio and do without the cigar. Do without the cigar. The cigar will have to wait till tomorrow morning, guys. Anyway, I want to run down to the bottom of this chat real quick. And I'm going to see if if anybody asked any more questions real quick. And we're almost to an hour and a half, not too bad. Sent my QQQ and a buy me a coffee so he gets more money. Thank you, Sherry. Thank you so much. She's right. She's right about that. Google takes 30% of that. The buy me a coffee, 5%. But people like to see their super chats, and I will always notice the super chats. I might not read them the minute they're sent because I may be in the middle of something, but I guarantee you put a super chat in any of my streams, it's going to get noticed. I will not ever get to the end of a stream and miss a super chat. Now Ken Berry can, because he's just got so many people. So many people. I mean, I got 100 people, 67 now. Most people are getting bored and going away. He's got thousands. Imagine. Lorraine Borneo, what are you all paying for ribeye? I get it on sale in Picayune, Mississippi for $7.99 when you buy the whole. And then have them slice it for free. Yeah, Publix sells it for I was getting it for $5.99 a pound about a year and a half ago. Then it went to $6.99 a pound, and this year for their sales it was up to $9.99 a pound. That's bone in, so you're paying for the bones. If you let the butcher slice up the whole prime thing for you, they usually carve the bones off the top. And when I bought a bunch that way, I let them take the bone off, and I made beef ribs out of that. But Sam's Club is about 12.5 a pound now. Publix is about 18, 19 a pound. I buy the markdown. I get to find the markdown stuff at Sam's Club. Usually ends up costing me, and this is without the bones. And I get to pick the pieces and the cuts that I want without having to buy the whole thing and take what I get. And I'm paying less than $10 a pound when it's marked down, when it's on sale. But $7.99 for prime rib is a good price, Lorraine. Maybe even warrant a trip to Mississippi for me. So I'm still looking for the last of the questions. Holy cow, I am still 20 minutes behind. I better scroll a lot faster. I want to get to the bottom of the chat before I say goodnight to y'all. The question of the decades may be sitting down there, waiting for me to scroll to it. See, Noslow is here. How you doing? Sherry Morgan says, I wish Mitch edited my videos. It's a chore, isn't it? You do a great job, Sherry. You do all this fancy stuff that I don't do. Jennifer Marlowe, you wrote Fortran code? Boy, you're dating yourself, young lady. Oh, my God. I remember that the first programming language that I ever programmed in was Z80 machine code. I mean, what we have today, just what we carry around in our pockets. Somebody, Lori says, he means your logo. Where's the cigar guy? Is that what you meant by that? Where's the cigar guy? Where is the cigar guy? There he is. I can turn that off too. And the most important thing, where's the monkey? Where's Spanky? There he is. How you doing, Spanky? Good to see you. Good to see you. You all miss Spanky? Spanky was my drone sidekick when I used to had my drone channel, and I used to do all the 3 and 4 hour drone building videos where I had overhead cameras and I was soldering and building drones, racing drones on YouTube. My YouTube channel just had its 6th birthday, even though I've only been carnivore YouTuber for almost a year and a half. But the channel, I just got a notice from YouTube. Happy 6th birthday! Used to be old guy and a drone. And my coffee's still hot. But that was my sidekick. That was my little buddy. So that's what he meant, where's your cigar, when I said that I don't smoke in the house. God, I'm glad you guys are hanging in there with me. I'm sitting here saying, man, this has got to be the most boring live stream you've ever done, Mitch. But maybe not. If nothing else, it's a great excuse for you guys to get together and meet and chat. And that's That's such a big part of it. That's a big part of it. So I feel like I'm just one of the guys here tonight, just participating in this. Robbie Autry says, do you make bone broth with your leftover bones? You know, I don't. I don't. I know it's good for you. I'm just not crazy about bone broth. I've tried it a couple times, and this is not something, and it's healthy, and I probably should save all the bones. Because I make ribs a lot, but those are generally pork. And the bones that, the big marrow bones, you got to buy them. You generally got to buy them, and they got to have a bandsaw to cut them up into pieces for you. I know Sherry buys them frozen in these big bags at the butcher shop, and God, they've got to be expensive. And one of these days, and I've heard people say that when you make bone broth in a slow cooker, it stinks up your house so bad. I don't know. And all the techies are here tonight. Tom is telling us that Fortran means formula translation. You would know that, Tom? Yes. Ellen's still here with us. Viking Tom says, Spanky the monkey. That, I told this story once already, but that's how he got his name, and maybe that's just a little risque, but I got this monkey, and I put him up on the screen one night, and I said, okay, guys, this is my new sidekick. We need to give him a name. So somebody puts in the chat, how about Spank the monkey? I said, I like it. I like it. And I started calling him Spanky, and it's kind of stuck. Spank the monkey. Those of you who know what that means, you get it. Those of you that don't, I am not going to explain it to you. Somebody else might, not me. Ellen says, I replaced the monkey. Now maybe he will replace me. Ellen? Not a chance, sweetie. Not a chance. Not a chance. We'll put Spanky to sleep. Tanya says, no, Ellen. DS-111, am I correct that they used to advise people to do cardio exercise to limit the so-called damage to arteries from cholesterol? Not only are you correct that they used to, they're still telling people that. Honest to God, they're still telling people that. Just one of the many things that they get wrong. I had a comment the other day from somebody that was just starting carnivore, but they said they were going to do a lot of cardio, that their cholesterol was high, so they're going to be doing a lot of cardio exercise to minimize the damage from the high cholesterol. Honest. You can't make this up. Well, there are some questions down here. Hey, Mitch, Sharpie Aquatics. We just got a sous vide. What temp and time would you recommend for a ribeye? Well, it all depends on how you like it. That's the beautiful thing about sous vide. If you like it really rare, that's one thing. If you like it medium rare, it's another. If you like it medium, it's another. I like mine, not raw, but medium rare. Maybe on the rare side of medium rare, because they're going to cook a little more when you sear them, and don't sear them too long. And I cook mine at 128 degrees. So what you do, and you're not going to heat it any hotter. It's not like cooking a steak in the oven and taking it out and letting it rest for 10 minutes, and when the temperature will come up because it was so hot around the outside of the steak that it's still cooking from the outside in when you take it off the heat. In a sous vide, you've got it totally immersed in a bath of water that's maintained to within 1/10 of a degree. So if you set it at 128 degrees and you leave your steak in the sous vide for 2 hours, you're going to have a 128-degree steak. If you leave it in there for 10 hours, you're still going to have a 128-degree steak. It's never going to overcook. It can't overcook. It can't overcook. It will get more tender the longer you leave it in there, but it will not cook. So if you want medium, maybe 135 degrees. If you want well done, maybe 145, 50 degrees. And there's so many charts. And you can find them on the internet. And after a couple times, you find the temperature that makes it the perfect way that you like it. It doesn't matter how thick it is. It can be a 2-inch thick steak. That's the beauty of it. I don't care if it's 2 inches thick or a half an inch thick. Throw it in the sous vide, leave it in there for a couple hours. It's going to be perfectly cooked. Give it a quick sear in a hot pan with some kind of grease or butter, and you got the best steak you ever ate. And it's foolproof. It's foolproof. I did my salmon. I had this wild-caught sockeye salmon from Sam's Club, and I sous vide that tonight. Came out perfect. God, it was great. It was great. FX Trader says, can you reuse the plastic bags for sous vide? I wouldn't. They do sell reusable ones. They're a pain in the ass. You have to get a particular vacuum sealer attachment for it. You can use an immersion bag, and I have them on my Amazon links. They're made out of silicone rubber, and the plastic bags that they sell to use with sous vide are the PFAS and BPA free plastics. And the good news is that the only time plastics become kind of dangerous is when you get them really hot, like when these bags that you buy in the supermarket that the frozen food comes in and they tell you to put them in boiling water. Yeah, I wouldn't do that with plastic. But 128, 130, 135 degrees, you're going to have no problem, especially if you use the BPA-free bags. On my Amazon page, WEVAC, W-E-V-A-C, I've made videos. They gave me an air fryer. I made a video. They give you 15% discount. They're like I'm not an air fryer, a vacuum sealer. They're like commercial grade vacuum sealers. A lot of people bought them. They're really, really great. I love mine. Well, they sell pre-cut, sealed on one side, vacuum sealing bags in different sizes, in boxes of 200, 400. They're more like for commercial type use. And they're like 1/5 the cost of these vacuum seal bags when you buy them in a supermarket or a department store. And you can get them on my website. They're cheap. Go to the Amazon page, look for the WEVAC vacuum sealer bags, and they'll give you a 15% discount on those. And I've made a couple of videos about that WEVAC thing. You can look them up, but boy, that's great. And the bags are so cheap now, I don't even think about reusing them. They're so cheap. You just, a couple pennies. Cook your dinner. Throw the bag away. It's not worth the time and energy to try to wash it out. My opinion, again. I have gotten to the bottom of the chat. Unbelievable. Oh, man. Ended up going not quite 2 hours, but we hung in there. Still got 74 people here. Thanks, guys. I appreciate that. Thanks for keeping me company. Tomorrow morning, don't forget, 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock. I'm trying to read what you guys are saying. I just get all those benefits of Spank. Oh, you guys. Oh. Oh, I knew it. I knew you guys are looking it up now. Oh, you guys are bad. In a good way, but we're all grown-ups here, for God's sakes. For God's sakes. I see. Did I thank Marla Kelly? Marla, no, I didn't. Marla bought me a coffee. Thank you for all you do. Love starting our memories. Yeah, I read that one. Love your shirt, by the way. Yeah, I read that one. Okay, I don't want to miss anybody. And Sherry bought me a couple of coffees. Thank you, Sherry. Oh, and Tuka sent me an email. No worries. Oh, speaking of WeVac, I just got an email from them. They said, and it's kind of off topic for this channel, but I'm going to show it to you guys anyway. I'm going to make a little video about it. It's not a big thing, but they're a vacuum sealer company, okay? And they're a bag store. They're a bag manufacturer. That's their business. And the two different machines they sent me are really restaurant, commercial quality, even though they're not sold as commercial machines. They are every bit like the one that I had in my restaurant. They cost anywhere from the upper 200s to 400 something dollars, and you get 15% off. And they are fabulous. They're chamber style vacuum sealers. It means you can seal liquids in them, even soups. They don't suck the air out of the bag. The whole bag goes in a chamber. All the air gets sucked out of the outside, around the bag, in the bag, and everything, but nothing comes out of the bag. And the bag sits between something that comes down and seals it. And so when it gets sealed, it's already got a vacuum in it, even though the bag doesn't collapse because there's no air pressure around it to collapse the bag. And then the thing goes and lets the air out of the chamber, and the bag just goes right down on the food. And it's a great seal, and their bag and the CM12 model that I have actually puts 2 seals across. I've never had one of those bags ever leak any air or get frosty inside in the freezer. And I've got some food in there I've been storing for a long time. They just sent me another one of their products to take a look at, and it's cheap. And it's a storage bag thing. Have any of you ever seen these things that people use when they want to store blankets, sweaters, big fluffy things, pillows, things that just take up a ton of room? And they have these big bags. And you put this stuff in this bag, and then you vacuum and you suck the air out of it, and they squish down to a half-inch thick. And if you're packing to go on vacation, these things, you could fit 10 times as much stuff in a suitcase, clothes and things, with one of these bags. Well, they came up with a gizmo, and it costs about $25. They give you a whole big box of bags and a little rechargeable battery-powered vacuum pump that you take with you if you go somewhere. So you could go on vacation, take all your clothes, big fluffy sweaters and things, not have to fill up suitcases full of that stuff or get an elephant to sit on them. And then when you're ready to pack to come home, these bags are reusable. You just put the stuff back in the bag, take your little portable vacuum sucking machine and suck the air out of it and repack them again. And I got one of those, and it's been sitting here for a week or so, and I haven't even opened it yet. But I think I may do that tomorrow. Just make a quick little video, put the link on my Amazon thing to give a 15% discount. And if some of you, I'm not Billy Mays. I'm not going to go make an infomercial about it. But if anybody, for the money, it's a hell of a deal. And some people may find those things very handy, especially if you're storing things in less than the ideal conditions. If you got an attic or a basement or something that you store things that you don't want to get moldy or mildewed or deteriorate, this is a way to seal them up in a vacuum bag, and it'll last forever. So anyway, I don't know if you're interested or not in that. Yeah, Gary says that's a hoarder's dream. It is. People love them. All right, I'll make a little video. It'll be about, it'll be a 5 or 10 minute video. And it'll be me opening the box and seeing it for the first time, and I'll go grab some sweatshirts or something or a pillow and vacuum seal it up, and we'll see how it works. But I like the fact that it's got the rechargeable little vacuum pump that you can take with you when you go on vacation, so you can reseal this stuff up. Mitch, should we preheat the water in the sous vide? Well, Sharpie, I'll answer that question. I'm going to be here till 10 o'clock. I know it. Of course, but you don't need to even think about preheating it. Don't worry about it. All the immersion circulators have timers. You plug it in, it goes ding ding and lights up. You set the temperature, and it'll be set at the temperature it was the last time, and if you don't change it, it'll always be the right temperature. Then you press the button with the clock on it and tell it how long you want it to cook. And you say, I want it to cook for 2 hours. So the digital display run it up to 2 hours. And on the one that I have, the Innova, the trick is if you hold your finger on the plus button, it skips an hour at a time. You know, otherwise it skips 5 minutes at a time. So you just hold it down for a second or two, and you've got yourself 2 hours. And I cook them my steaks at 128 degrees. I don't change the water. Once a week or once every 2 weeks, I dump the water out of the sous vide thing. Otherwise, it has a lid on it. I just keep it on my counter full of water. The food never touches the water. Doesn't matter how old the water is. Nothing ever gets in the water. The water's on the outside of the bag. The food's on the inside of the bag. So why waste all that water every time I want to cook a steak? And the water's going to be room temperature. I turn on I say to the sous vide thing, start. I take the steak, I put it down in the water. The water heats up, and when it gets to 128 degrees, it starts the timer. It takes about 15 minutes for it to heat up, but I don't care. I put the steak in there when it was at room temperature, and I just walked away from it. Didn't even have to think about it. It heated up to the right temperature, started counting, and tells me when it's been cooking at that temperature for 2 hours. And since it doesn't matter if you cook it for 3 hours or 4 hours or 2 hours or even an hour and a half, it's not critical. But you don't have to preheat it first. You don't have to pay attention to it while you're preheating it. And that's one of the really cool things about sous vide. It is so easy, and there's no mess. Oh my God, to cook a steak like that, you just have to remember to throw it in a couple hours before you want it, your dinner time. Throw it in a sous vide and forget it. Come back approximately 2.5 hours later. Take out the bag, cut it open, take the steak, lay it down on some paper towels, blot it off real good, give it a little salt if you haven't dry brined it or pre-salted it. Heat up some butter or bacon grease in a pan. Sear it real quick, minute and a half on a side, and you're eating steak. The total amount of work, 5-10 minutes tops for the whole thing that you've been involved. The machine, the sous vide immersion bath, does the work. So it's really cool. I've got a number of videos on the channel where I've cooked these things. So yes, it's a great way to cook. It's so easy, this lifestyle. It's so easy. I've got it the boy, man. I can make bacon and eggs like a short order cook. You watch me cook bacon and eggs. You'd swear I spent my life working in a Waffle House or something like that. And B says, old guy carnivore. Yes, please. I would love to buy it for blankets. Oh, it's tremendous for that kind of. These things are great for that. And I have no idea what's in or how big the bags are or anything, but I'm going to find out tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. All right, my friends, I think so much for a 1 hour live stream tonight. I'm going to get to work here, go to bed, get up tomorrow. I'll see you all at 10 o'clock. And for tonight, we'll go out on a little blues. And I still have some hot coffee here. Wow. Wow. Oh, I love that coffee warmer. I put that on my website too, in case any of you guys think you want one. It's cheap. And what a difference. Oh man, this tastes as good as the first sip I took out of this cup 2 hours ago. Thanks so much for coming in. Thank you so much. Appreciate you coming in and appreciate you sticking here, and I hope you had a good time. Hope you enjoyed the company. There's a lot of company in here, and you guys, I can tell by the chat that you are enjoying it. You are enjoying it. That's great to see. Great to see. I don't know if you learned much tonight, but sometimes you just got to get together and chit-chat. So, I'm going to take the rest of the day off myself. Well, no, I can't. Anyway, fortunately, I'm healthy enough and have the stamina to do it all, to get through it, But the rest of you, and I think, I'm going to take a look here. I think I still have my outro. I'll get rid of the outro of me getting up from the table and showing the coffee cup. I'll take that out, so you don't have to watch that when I end the stream. I'll just disappear. And that's what I'm going to do, my friends. So good night to all of you. Good night to all of you. Say good night real quick in the chat. Normally I take this opportunity outside to relight my cigar, but nothing of the sort in here. So I'll take the last sip of my coffee. Turn off the coffee warmer. This is cool music. Name of the song is Rainin' in My Heart. That must be spoken with a southern accent. Rainin' in my heart. In order to be authentic, I guess. And with that, I don't know how long it's going to take for this song to end, but I'm not going to wait for it. It might go on forever. Listen, guys, I'll see you in the morning, 10 o'clock. Thanks for coming. Thanks for the generosity. Thanks for the coffees and the super chats. It's great to see y'all. Always, always great to see y'all. And until then, you know the drill. Not much left of it, but take the rest of the day off and eat meat.